One of the major problems that some people have with running a server on Guilded, or let's say even Discord, is actually getting the roles or your member roles and permissions set up correctly. So let's go ahead and take a look in what the Guilded roles are actually about. To get to your server roles, what you want to do is go ahead and have already created a server, set everything up, and click on the upper top left here, the little drop down arrow, and you're going to click on settings. Now, you have a list here on the left, and what we're more focused on now is actually the roles section. So let's go ahead and click on that. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and go through these as quick as possible because I know you're busy, but you're set up with a member role automatically. This is something that everyone within your server, including yourself, has this role. This is like the basic this is the basic role that everyone will have. Now you can add different roles depending on how customizable you want your particular server to be. So I have mine set up to have a mod. I got a streamer role, I have a creator role, some subscription from Guilded through here as well, and some XP leveling up roles as well, which don't really do much. They add some little bit of upgrades to the people that are leveling up by interacting within the community. Now, each section here is pretty much the same no matter which one that you go through here. So what you want to be very careful on is the top part of the roles section. The general permissions is pretty much what you want to keep just for yourself as the administrator and maybe a mod, or depending if you make like a super mod or anything like that. Now there are the update servers and manage roles, invite members. These are very harmful if you allow them to be utilized by pretty much everyone. Because if you have someone that's in the member role, which is again open to everybody, you can also set this up to have, again, these are all going to be set up just for you. These are all going to be turned on. If you want to add the member roles are going to be managed groups, you just go ahead, click the switch and turn it on. Now, that's all, again, it's very dangerous to allow that for non-support staff and yourself. So we'll go ahead and go through here. So you got managed channels, webhooks, can mention everyone in here. Usually I tell people to not turn this on because you know there's going to be some people that are going to be abusing these tags. And also you have access moderator view, slow mode exception. Now recruitment permissions is where it gets into how you run your server. So you have the view applications. If you set up your server to people to come in and have to fill out an application in order to join, you'll be able to set this up, or you have mods to be able to see the applications that are coming in. You can also approve, edit applications, indicate find players' interests, and modify find players' status. These are all something, again, is something that you want you and your staff to have access to, not your regular members. Also, same thing for, again, announcement permissions, but there is one caveat. You want everyone to view the announcements. So, of course, you want to have it checked or turned on for the lowest, which is the member role. And also to turn off to create and remove announcements and manage announcements. Again, that's for you and your mod team, or depending on how you want to run your own server. Now, the chat permissions are opened up for everyone else here because you definitely want people to read the messages, send messages, and depending on how comfortable you are uploading media, create threads, send messages in the threads, or send private messages, or even manage messages and manage threads. These last two you want to keep just for your mods or yourself. And same thing, I'm just going through each of these individually. You can go through as quickly as possible. Calendar permissions, it depends on if you want to use a calendar that is a part of Guilded. You can also have it set up for view events. So if you want everyone to view upcoming events that you set up or somebody within your team is set up. Now, you don't want them to automatically create events. Again, this is all depending on how you want to set up your own server and the permissions within. So you have create events, manage, remove, and edit RSVPs. These, again, are sometimes more along your staff routing and yourself instead of regular members. Forum permissions is how, again, this is another section that's solely for Gilded, is you want regular members to read, maybe create forum topics and replies, but you don't want them to manage or sticky to topics or lock them. Again, that's for your staff. Document permissions is you have view documents, create, manage docs, and remove docs. The last three, again, are for your staff. Media permissions, just like documents, is you got the same setup here as well. You want everyone to see media, or you can lock it down that if you have a verified role, or it depends on how you set that up. Voice permissions. If you have people coming in that you want to go into your voice channels and be able to hear what's going on, go ahead, turn on hear voice, but you don't want them to actively talk. Keep off the add voice. That means they'll be able to hear, but they can't participate. Also, same thing, manage voice rooms, move members, and broadcast. Broadcast is more for, again, your staff. Whisper, again, it's up to you how you want this to set up for your particular server. Priority speaker, same thing. Use voice activity. Mute members, you definitely don't want that to be a regular member role. Deafen, same thing. Send messages. This is where you can have the ability for people to type into your voice channels, which is a great thing with Guild because that is a great feature. Competitive permissions is something that you want to have the tournament, either yourself or you have someone comes in to run the tournaments for you, for creating scrims and creating tournaments or doing the register for tournaments. So that's a little bit more in depth on a different segment within Gilded. Customization permissions is where it gets a little bit more on the back end, where it manage emojis, change your nickname. If you want to allow people to change their nickname within the server, hey, that's okay. You can turn it on and off. It's totally up to you. Manage nicknames is something for your staff, that if you have people coming in and creating inappropriate nicknames, you can have your mod team say no, that's not what we're gonna. That's not what we do here. Form permissions. You can create forms that you can have your members fill in or potential members fill out. Same thing for polls within your chat channels. List permissions is you can have set up view listing, create list items, manage list item messages. And that means you have a list item and the messages that people can leave or comments on that particular item. It means that it's mostly for your back-end staff, your staff, your mod team, and yourself. Remove list items, complete and reorder, again, should be for your mod team and yourself. Bracket permissions, this goes a little bit with the tournament, so take that with what you want, with how you want to set that up. This is where you'll create new permissions for that particular item. Scheduling permissions, just like calendar, but this is for scheduling if you have people that are trying to schedule a time period to do scrims or set up meetings between people. So you have to view schedules, create schedules, or delete schedules completely. Again, I know I'm repeating myself a lot of times, but again, this is very important to creating a very successful server that is run and managed well. Bot permissions, definitely don't want to have it set up for just your regular members to manage your bots. No. Also, same thing with managing your server XP. Stream permissions is you will have people be able to view the streams, depending on their level of interactivity with your community, you can have them join in a voice or set up their own streams that they'll be able to share their screens and be able to run a successful stream within your server. Also, send text messages within each stream, just like voice chat channels. This is a video channel that is how you want things to be run within your own server. If you want to have full and absolute control, lock these down. It's completely up to you. So these are just a quick run through or walkthrough of the role/permissions within Guilded. To create a new role, all it is simply, I'll go back up to the top, is click on this top left here where it says add another role. You can title it, you can make it a different color, and go from there. A nice thing that Guilded has over Discord is if you want something that is very similar, you can change one or two things. You can clone another role. So all you have to do is select or choose which one you want to clone, right click on it and hit clone, and it's going to go ahead, take those permissions that you have, make a copy of it, and then you can title whatever you want, change the permissions, and just go wild with it. So that's pretty much it. Now, over here, if I point to the right direction, is another video on another Guilded video that I think you'll be very interested in. So check it out.